Hey guys, Footy Focus Podcast, episode 24. So the first post-season episode, trade preview today, won't we?
Yeah, so it's 3rd of November, so Melbourne Cup Day and trade week officially kicks off tomorrow. How'd you go with the horses, by the way?
Oh, we didn't have a work sweep this year because we're all at home, so didn't get a chance. Did you put your money on, what was it, Twilight Payment?
I actually did put a little bit on him. I had
$23, right?
I had $18 just left over from the grand final day because I lost a bit of. I think I lost like $12 from all the grand final day, so I decided to put $6 on 3 horses, and I normally just go for the middle of the range ones, like favorites, not enough value. The $100 ones are a bit outside, so yeah, it was luckily Twilight Payment was paying 26, and then I had a power play, so I activated that on him, so it got up to 29.
So what's the overall profit from, was it $18? $18 turned into
So I had 6 on him. So what are we talking?
6 times. What's that? 180-ish, just under.
174 minus the 18, so 156.
Oh.
Pocketed, a sweet 156.
But you're gonna gamble responsibly and stash that, aren't you?
That's my grand final day. Lost a bit, and made some back. So this is the second time I've won Melbourne Cup Day in like 2 years, I think, because I won a similar, not as much. I think I won $120 a couple of weeks ago.
Oh wow!
Of course, but it's just randomly just picking up.
Get my tips from you next year.
Oh yeah. Maybe not next year, maybe the year after. Might be a bit. But yeah, you should see me. I was just up. I was out of my seat after he held on. I mean, he hit the lead like by halfway and held it, and like the favorite came charging towards the last 300 meters. But, luckily hung in there. So thank you.
A good day for you. So North had their best and fairest. Was it last week? Was it or?
Yeah, we had it pretty late. We normally have it. We were one of the last teams to have it. So luckily we're not the Carlton. So I think Carlton are going to have it in February or something.
Yeah, February.
Yeah, on mine, I'm going to kick it off here. So Luke McDonald was the runaway winner. I think the voting is they give it like a 10-1 each staff member does that. So yeah, Luke got 183 votes. He won by quite comfortably from second place winner, which was Jai Simpkin. So he did his tagging role earlier in the year. So didn't expect him to bowl so well in the first few games, but I think his efforts being a defensive run with player was acknowledged. And after he got switched to halfback, I think we had a couple of injuries, and he got back to playing his normal role, and he just dominated. So he thanked Reece Shaw a lot. Like he's one of the best people he's ever met in footy. So thanked him, and it was pretty humble, and becomes a new Brown and Allir medalist, and a young one as well in the last year, a little bit older. Cunnington being medalist. Quickly go through the top 10. So it was Simpkin. Third was Anderson, who stood up with that Cunnington in the middle, and breakout year from Simpkin as well.
Has he got a contract yet, Anderson?
Not yet. No, he's still in negotiation.
Okay.
Carr, I think, is his manager, so maybe they're waiting on until list sizes get finalized. It's dragging on. I'd expect him to stay, but you never know, right? I feel like he's I feel like he bleeds blue and white, so he signs it.
Yeah.
To round out the top 5, it was Goldstein and Dumont. So Goldstein just dominated again. So, especially early on, but he sort of slipped a little bit in that last few weeks. But he's like one of the club greats now. And a couple of older players next with Tarrant and Walker. And I guess Walker coming in 7 just shows that the ball was in our defense. He did a good job. That stood up, and he was awesome as a deal-list free agent. He's got I prefer him defense than forward. So The better, I guess, without Brown then, like he missed a few games, so he had to play forward. But in the future, I think maybe do you reckon we should play Tarrant forward and have Walker in the team just so he can play defense?
Yeah. I mean, for me, I'd have Tarrant still as that number one. Ben McKay 2. I mean, Cole, I prefer him like on the small forwards. Josh Walker. I mean, we'll talk about your number 2. Who do you reckon you're going to pick number 2 in the draft? One of the key.
Right. Okay. We still have number 2, which is good. So it didn't get pushed back because of any compo. So I think Logan McDonald and Riley Fieldthorpe, they might be the 2 potentials, and they're both 2 big key forwards. So it's a good point. Can you play 3 forwards? You probably don't have to, right?
Yeah.
But it's going smaller. And Zerha and Ben Mackay, Zerha, a couple of younger players that have rounded out the top 10. Mackay was, I think came into the season in round 5, I think, and then he was just superb and was probably a little bit underrated in some of the jobs he did. So the more he can continue to develop with, Tarrant or Mackay and Walker, better. And Zerha also won the goal kicking with 14 or something. So
14, yeah.
And best young player. There was a few awards. Most of them went to McDonald's. And Edwick Willis won an award for like the community man or something. And Bailey Scott was the best young player. So would have been a bit of a tighter competition if Curtis Taylor and Karen Thomas didn't get injured. But I thought Scott was the best for the second year player.
So was there any players that you thought should have made top 10 and were unlucky, or?
Sean Atley. He did get he got a life membership, I think.
Yeah, it was 10 years, 200 games, right? Isn't that that's just the minimum?
Yeah, I think so.
Fair standard, so.
I don't think so. I think everyone played pretty well. A lot of them were injured, I suppose.
If he played a full year, he would have probably got a top 5 if he.
Who I didn't catch.
LDU.
Oh yeah, a good pick actually. He came in 12th, so that's pretty good considering missing a good chunk of the year, right? Yeah, I think if his body keeps fit, I think he can see him easily finishing in the top 10 next year. So he came home with a rush, and he also got a couple of brown votes. Cool. We'll jump into your best and fairest. I think you guys had it before,
Yeah, it was Thursday night. So, John Cahill Medal. So, Darcy Byrne-Jones, that was the story of the night. So he won his first medal, which is pretty like a boil over because Travis Boak second in the Brownlow. So, I think vice captain of the All Australian team as well. So, probably deserved for Darcy. He came second last year, and he's probably strung together 3 to 4 elite seasons in a row. I think, Boak, second, obviously, but the upside, I think you mentioned it a few weeks ago. I don't think you can have a better year than that. So, I'll talk about some of his replacements, I guess, further down the track. Tom Jonas, third in his first year as captain. Yeah, it's pretty good. Zach Butters, fourth, which is, what was that?
Because Jonas was Australian.
He made the squad, not the final 22.
Oh.
So,
you were saying he was unlucky not to be a skipper. So.
I think you can make a case that he could have been all skipper. Now, there were a lot of key backs this year that did dominate compared to previous years, so you can probably understand. But you could make a case for it, whether it's a winning case. I'm not sure, but Zach Butters fourth, so he probably just needs to bulk up a little bit and play full-time mid next year. Had spurts in there, so just had a bit more pace and energy into the midfield. Tied for fifth for Mackenzie and Wine. So Mackenzie's just, career resurgence from him. Established himself as a footy player in the best 22. And Ollie Wine's, one of the best finals player too. But, he should be leading our midfield for the next decade and hopefully, the next captain too in a few years.
And then had his best year for Port easily, I think. And
Yeah, I mean, well, the whole year wasn't great, but from probably round 8, 9 onwards, it was elite. He probably would have made top 3 if the BNF started from there. So, Dan Houston 7th. I'd like him to play more midfield next season. I think Lockie Jones slots in nicely at halfback. Charlie Dixon. What was that?
Do you lose anyone from your halfback?
No, so we talk about it. I mean, Riley Bonner he's probably the only one on the trade table. Leonard signed up for 2 more years, so they're probably the one. So, I think Houston he was probably our best player in Tigers in the prelim. So, yeah.
No, you're lucky. Yeah, you get Lockie Jones slide into that defense, and then a bit more midfield depth with Houston.
Yeah, and Charlie Dixon was nice, a career best year. Just needs to back it up now and not just have a one-hit wonder. And Carl Amon was 10th, cemented his spot as a classy wing. I thought Hamish Hartlett probably should have been in the top 10. Pretty unlucky not to be, but I think apart from that, it was pretty fair.
Yeah, it's a pretty good team. You'd like to see guys like Rosie and Desma pushing to there to go the next step next year. And I think, they definitely have the potential.
Yeah, Rosie and Desma, right? So Rosie and Butters, should be full-time bids next season. They just need a big pre-season, need to bulk up a little bit.
Yeah, cool. So that's every club, except Carlton, like we said. And, no real surprises, I think, from the rest. We haven't jotted it down, but I think,
Yeah, a lot of defensive players, like I thought Guthrie, that was fair enough. Like he had the best year.
Yeah, we should mention Richmond's best and fairest.
Yeah.
Who was it? Short, yeah. Jaden Short upstaged Martin, I think. Martin came in second, so.
Yeah, that's probably the best award in footy, right? BNF in a premiership year.
Yeah, that's the thing, yeah. To win a premiership, you need the rough, like the diamond in the rough sort of selection. It's not all about pick 1, pick 2, yeah. And teams like being able to do that. So, yeah. You want to move on to the free agency and pay?
So it started officially yesterday. I think there's only been 5 official trades, but plenty more have requested club of choice.
Yeah. Well, trade week starts tomorrow, but free agency kicked off on Friday. So there was a few free agency submissions that went through. And I guess this time next week we'll have there'll be a lot more done, and I think early on there's not much movement. So we might just quickly go through all the teams and mention a couple of players each. That's worth discussing. So I guess the obvious one's Brad Crouch. It's probably the biggest one actually.
Yeah.
Instantly kick it off. What do you think? They received 3 as compensation, so it's band 3. They were hoping for band 2, I thought, because then it would have been straightforward, and they get a steal for a good player, but now because the contract offered by St Kilda wasn't enough to trigger band 1, they are in a bit of a awkward position. Do they match, or do they? Yeah, what do they do?
Yeah, well, I think is it 3 days to decide or 2 days, but they haven't decided yet. Kelly and Rashudo have said they're holding out for pick 2, which I don't think is going to happen. He's played 16 games a year, that's 67% disposal efficiency, so that's below average. So he's not an elite mid by any stretch of the imagination. So I think pick 23 is probably fair enough, I would have thought.
Yeah, if it was just a trade, I reckon maybe a pick just before 20, like 18, 19 might be fair. So, pick 23 is probably a little bit unders, but especially NGA will. A lot of these picks, what we talk about, NGA is going to push it out 3 or 4. But I think now can St Kilda match and St Kilda walk away?
Yeah, well, I think if the Crows match, which they can, yeah, the Saints can just say, yeah, that's it. I mean, they could easily move on to a Treloar, or someone else.
What? Well, what? But everyone keeps saying, oh, they can't match. I mean, they can match, but St Kilda would have to still trade. Like with GWS and Cameron, we'll talk about later. But if GWS match, do you reckon Geelong will walk away or trade?
No, they'll trade. They'll trade. I mean, yeah, that's 100% a trade. I think even the players have spoken about Cameron coming across. I think that's.
And they've got the currency to trade.
Yeah.
But I think St Kilda, they would have to trade for him, like, because just image and future targets might second guess if they want to nominate St Kilda, because what happened to Brown? Because it's like that stress, mental stress, a bit of embarrassment. Your brand might get damaged, and all this sort of stuff. So you become a less desirable nomination club if you do turn back on craft. So yeah, I reckon they'll still trade for him, but I don't think Adelaide will match. You just let him walk for pick 23.
Yeah, I agree.
Quickly on Atkins, he's going to go to the Gold Coast Suns, and that's being done. And Crows received pick 36. So they've got a good hand already, like pick 1, 9, 20, 23, potentially 30, 36. Yeah.
I mean,
Brisbane?
Yeah. No, Brisbane.
What do you reckon? Witherton? You keen on him?
Yeah, well, there's interest from the Eagles. Like, but if you were Alex, I mean, Birchall's got 1 year left. I mean, the only one probably ahead of him is Archie. But you would have thought like Witherton's like a 10-year player for the Lions. So he's got 2 years left on a contract as well. So I can't see him moving. I don't think the Lions are going to give him up easily.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, unless they get something that's valuable, because they're not playing him. So I think he needs to work more on his defensive side of this game. So I think that's why he's not playing. But I mean, if they want a bit more cap room, the Daniher trade, they might look to get rid of him. Yeah, you had a lot of question marks there when you have a gun like you came second in the Rising Star a couple of years ago, and he's not doing a game trade. There's something wrong, or?
Yeah, I think it's probably about the opportunity. Like, I don't see anything wrong with the culture over there. It's just probably not getting games.
Yeah, and the games he has played, he's played pretty well, offensively anyway. I don't know that.
Yeah.
And the other one, Cedric Cox. I think they might have been in the same drop, or maybe not. But yeah, I don't think he's got any value. He hasn't played only one good year.
Yeah.
Trade. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I mean, outside the best 22, I think he wants to go back home to WA. So, probably a late round pick, would have thought.
Yeah, remembering this draft is probably not going to be as deep, like a lot of unknowns. So we might have like the least amount of players taken. So I think if picks become a bit more valuable. Carlton, I guess not many players are leaving yet. So the two we've listed are players that are coming in. Any players going out? Just top of your head? Not really, yeah. A lot of retirees. I guess they've got a lot of deadwood.
Yeah, I guess if there is, it's probably just ones included in the Saad trade.
Yeah, Saad. So should they split pick 8 into 2 picks?
Yeah, I don't think he's worth. Like, I think they'll have to pay a first rounder for him, but I don't think he's worth a first rounder. Like, he's not all Australian. He's not like a lockdown defender as well. Like, he's very good offensively, but a bit like the Witherton scenario. He's not, a lockdown type.
Yeah, because he's maybe improved a little bit since he's come to Essendon, like from Gold Coast, but he was still a pretty good player at the Gold Coast.
Yeah.
So, and I think Essendon paid pick like 22 or 23 for him. So he hasn't improved his value so much that he's worth the top 10 pick. So I think pick around 15 might be still a bit over this, but something that Essendon should offer. Like, just because you're hard to deal with as a club doesn't mean other club should just pay whatever, just to avoid. Yeah, I mean, you still have to pay market value. So hopefully, Carlton can stand their ground.
What do you think about the Zac Williams? That's official now, isn't he? He's a Blue.
Yeah, he had his first interview in the Navy Blue. So no, it's a good fit. I think the club's in the right age bracket for go there and help them push for some finals wins at least. So yeah, big contract. He's just gonna have a lot of pressure on him to be that second-hand man to Paddy Cripps, which I don't think he is. He's more
not ready yet. Yeah, I would have thought.
Nah, but never know. Maybe he's been sort of in the shadows of stars up there in GWS. I just think he's a bit smaller than those big inside mid types, but he's definitely got that combination of inside outside. So good get, good free get for the Blues. You have a bit of an opinion on Treloar's situation with the Pies?
Yeah, it's just a bit of an absolute mess for the Pies the last couple of weeks. Like I saw Bucks, I think that was the first response from the Pies tweeting it. Sam Edmonds article that I think the phone call didn't happen, or the contents of the phone call didn't happen, where he said senior players didn't want him. So the Pies, like I don't know what their list management strategy is. Like you can't predict COVID obviously, but he's got 5 more years on a contract at like $900K a year, which is he's an above average player. I don't think he's an elite player yet. Probably just he hasn't got his body right 100%. But I hope Treloar hopes Pies to the contract, because I think he back-ended his contract so Pies could bring in Beams and a couple of players. So he's well within his rights to hold him to the contract.
Yeah, I mean, if he did something, if he back-ended that with the club in good faith, then Collingwood shouldn't be treating him like this. I think it's poor form, and he is probably one of those midfielders that they could afford to lose because they've got a couple coming through.
Yeah.
But I mean, apparently I've heard nothing but good stuff about Treloar, so it's pretty sad. And the media, like reporters keep using articles, and the photos they use are of him like crying and all this stuff. So it's a bit sad. I know what they're trying to do. They try to use images that reflect the story.
Yeah.
If it's a good story, they use happy images. If it's a bad story, and they're using like these images of him crying because of a loss. But I think there'll be clubs that want Treloar. Like I think Hawthorn's been in the mix, and a couple of Melbourne clubs that have the money. But I think if it's going to be a salary dump, they can't expect to get a first round. I just think if it's a salary dump, it'll be like a second rounder probably. Yeah,
I reckon the Saints are a great fit if they don't get Crouch. Like Steele's probably the only above average midfielder. Like Billings and Gresham have the potential to get there, but Hunter Clark maybe moves from the defence. But I think Saints are a good fit because Hawks aren't in the premiership window. And he wants to win the premiership, so that's why he left. He came to Collingwood. Tom Phillips might be another who gets pushed out if Treloar does stay, like similar to Aish, because they do have a couple of midfielders coming through. And they could, he would go to Hawks, he would be a good fit, a winger to replace Isaac Smith. Yeah, I think that's a logical fit. Maybe throw in Melbourne there as well. Like a Tomlinson on the wing didn't really work, so maybe if they can put him next to Langdon, that might be better. Yeah, it's a good point. Tom McDonald's or Tom Phillips might be a fair trade. Straight swap, nearly. Yeah. Jaden Stevenson, another rising star winner that's, sort of been thrown on the trade table. What do you think? Yeah, I think it's probably just a wake-up call. It doesn't sound like they want to get rid of him as such. Probably just to wake him up a little bit and get him back to his debut year form. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's still young and tons of potential. So depending on how he deals with the off-field stuff, I think they should still keep him. He's contract. Yeah, he's a star when he's right. So we don't want to get rid of those. Quickly on Daniher, we agree he's a big 7 overs, and it's just how the compo system works. Unfortunate. Yeah. So what? So yeah. Obviously, I don't think round one like a pick 7 he's worth at the moment. So why is it a pick 7?
Just his contract, because he got
Just the length, right?
over 800,000 average salary for those years he's contracted for.
Yeah.
He only got a 3-year deal, so maybe they need to consider the length of the contract to trigger band 1 compensation.
Yeah, so it's a 3-year contract with a 4th-year trigger, right? But the 4th year doesn't play any part in the compo.
Yeah. So I think to get band 1, you should at least have 4 years plus.
Yeah.
Guaranteed, not 3. I think if it's 3 years, it should immediately start off at band 2.
Yeah.
I think they've got to tweak this system. A lot of it's been criticized quite a bit. Orazio Fantasia is the next player, and he was, I think I offered a 2nd rounder, but Essendon wanted a first. Is that fair?
Yeah. I think that's pretty standard from Dodoro. So I think the fair compromise would be a 2nd rounder. Like, he's an elite talent, 1.4 goals a game, 5 score involvements and 14 touches, but only 80 games over 7 years. So I think the 2nd rounder will be the deal in the end. And maybe Bonner as State Knives too.
Oh, I don't know. I'd be playing hardball. You guys shouldn't have offered pick 26. Should have offered like a 3rd rounder, because I reckon he's worth around, maybe pick 35 to 40, that range. Because he's soft tissue injuries. You never know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And he hasn't played enough. So if he wasn't contracted, he would be worth pick 45 plus. His contract is giving them some power.
Yeah. So Jesse Hogan's requested GWS.
Yeah, Freo and GWS, I think they've come to an agreement where they'll take Jesse off their hands.
Yeah.
Giving him a contract. I think the contract will probably be similar to what he's on, but for a lower pick, sort of like for nothing essentially. That's pretty a disaster they've pulled it.
I think gave up a lot to get him 2 first rounders a couple of years ago, and I think it could be, if he gets himself right, he won't be as good as Cameron, but I think he could easily get close to that. So I think it could be a draft win for the GWS in a few years' time.
Yeah, I mean, he won the Rising Star, so you got to be pretty decent to do that. So hopefully he can get his body and off with stuff right. Not let his talents go to waste. Sam Menegola is attracting some interest. I think he wants a bit of a bigger contract. That's fair, though.
He's played 2 elite seasons in a row. Should have been All-Australian probably the last couple of years, but keep him next to Isaac Smith on the other wing, and you'll go far. So keep him and pay him what he's worth.
Yeah, pay him. Yeah, and if that means getting rid of Constable and Lockie Fogarty, then I think that's a good move. Both are young and have a lot of potential. So I'd be happy if the Kangaroos targeted one or both of them. Fogarty's a classy small. He's just behind Myers at the moment, but he played pretty well against us the time we played them in Metricon, I think.
Yeah.
And speaking of Metricon, Gold Coast Suns, no players leaving.
It's first time in a few years, huh? Oh, no big players leaving. I think that's the.
No wanted players leaving. The 2 that are looking are potentially Peter Wright and Will Brodie, who are both contracted and still might end up staying.
Yeah.
Do you have any comments?
Yeah, I think Peter Wright will get picked up maybe by, I don't know, Hawthorn or a Victorian club. Will Brodie, I mean, was he pretty highly rated in his draft year?
I think Cal Toomey had him number 1 at stages.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's hard to know what happens after you get drafted. It hasn't sort of worked out for him as he would have liked. So he might change the scenery, might do well. But I've heard there was not much interest in him, but maybe the bust.
Yeah, so Jeremy Cameron, we mentioned before. So I think that's the first match of a offer ever. Not be the second, but if you were for GWS, I'd ask for 2 firsts and a player. I'd probably, what kind of player would you want? Like a Parfitt or a Radigalia, Kolodajny maybe?
It's an interesting one. I definitely want the 2 firsts.
Yeah.
Because if midfielders are worth 2 firsts, like Shield and Treloar,
a key position player in his prime is worth 2, and I'll take Menegola. So I think it'll be maybe 11 and 18 and Menegola, and that sounds fair.
Yeah,
Not even a second going back. Maybe a third going back.
Yeah, I think a Parfitt or a Menegola is probably too much to ask for GWS. I don't think Cats are going to give those 2 players up easily. So Aiden Causer, he moved to your boys?
Yeah, he did a couple of interviews last couple of days, and he sounds like a pretty nice guy. A bit of sense of humor about him. So have a listen if you haven't heard him talk. But no, he had his heart set on coming to us pretty early on in the team, Shaw helped get him over. But even without Shaw being here, he was still happy to come and excited about what North are building. So yeah, it's good to have him back there, and he got the Giants at 30, pick 30 compo, which is about right, probably. That type of player.
So it's a 5-year contract, isn't it? Around 550, 600, is that what it's?
Yeah, I think it's 550 around that. So band 3. So yeah. Similar band to what Crouch got. I think Crouch got 650 or something. So yeah, around there. So it's good to have him on. He rejected Hawthorn's approach, and that seems to be a running theme lately with Bruce also elsewhere. Are you surprised Isaac Smith got Hawks pick 42?
Yeah, I mean, it's only a 2-year deal, so and he's 32, so I don't think it should have been any higher than that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think, he's still got a bit to offer, I think. He's been pretty somewhat durable, so maybe it's a bit more than they would have liked. They would have expected. They're getting Hardigan in, who will sort of replace Core.
Yeah, well, even Frawley and so they're missing few key backs.
Yeah, and McAvoy was apparently targeted by Dogs.
Yeah, so I think Hawks are holding on to him. So, hopefully the Dogs can get a ruckman to support English.
Did you see my correspondence with Mitch Cleary?
Yeah, I did.
I
did see that on Twitter.
I had to put it out there because he thinks McAvoy was worth pick 14, whereas Higgins rates him as a pick in the mid-30s. They were having a discussion, and I think Cal Toomey butted in and had a bit of more of a rational, logical point of view. So I just had to call out Mitch on that, and he responded. So thanks for the response on Twitter.
Yeah, Mitcho. He called him Mitcho.
Mitcho. Yeah, getting in. Yeah, so that's what they call him. It's Mitcho, Cal, and Riles.
Yeah, Riles.
And Farron Ray was tagged in it, so he liked that.
Yeah, I saw that. You got a like from AFL player. It's good.
Yeah, I think he played one game for the Kangaroos. Farron Ray. Okay.
Yeah, underappreciated.
Ben Brown.
Yeah.
Sorry. Before Ben Brown, Tom McDonald looks likely to leave, so he could head to the Pies.
Yeah, I think 53 goals in 2018, then got probably left as a one-out key forward. So he's got elite endurance and marking ability. So I think a change of scenery would be good, and I think Pies is the best fit.
Yeah, and he's not as expensive as Brown, and Pies can take him on. I think that'll lead Melbourne to slot Ben Brown as full forward between Wiedemann and Jackson. And I think pick 25 might be a little bit less than what Brady Rawlings would expect. So I'd expect another pick coming in, maybe late 30s pick or around there. Ideally, we would like to pick around 10 if it was like a normal year and we didn't sort of push him out.
And what do you think? Yeah.
Probably pick around 35 for Sean Higgins is fair. I think he's still got a lot to offer. He's still contracted, still one of our best players. But hopefully we can at the end of this trade period can do some pick swaps and get a strong hand in the top 30 would be good. If we have about 5 picks in the top 30. We have 3 at the moment. So get a couple there, and I think in a good spot. To Port, no one sort of leaving. Bonner, like we talked about a bit, will be headed to Essendon.
Yeah, I think he'll be the sweetener to get that trade done. There's probably no key backs or elite mids. Crouch, I think, was asking for too much, and I think Treloar will stay in Victoria or head to Queensland. So I think we're chasing Allir, but we do want to give up all of our three or any of our three ruckmen, including Sam Hayes. So I think we're pretty quiet for Port apart from Fantasia.
Yeah, Sam Hayes coming off an ACL, but he's promising, I think.
Yeah, I think 2 All-Australians in his under 18. So, yeah, pretty highly rated when Lycett goes.
Mm-hmm. So it might be a bit of a quieter trade period for Port. And similar to Richmond, I suppose. A couple of players leaving, as so often is the case with Richmond when they don't land free agents forwards from the Gold Coast.
Yeah, okay. Well, I think they were chasing, based on the AFL
Hogan?
Tigers, and we're chasing Hogan. So Tigers and the Swans. So that would have been interesting. Like, where would they have played him?
Yeah, maybe they're trying to look for that Revolt replacement. Interesting.
Yeah. Well, we've still got a year or two left, I would have thought. But you're pretty elite list managing by the Tigers. Like, their biggest loss in the last 4 years is Brandon Ellis, and they had Camden McIntosh there to replace him. Like, he came top 5 in a flag year. So I think it's Higgins and Markov. They're the ones that are leaving. Probably.
Yeah, no, they've done well. Yeah, I mean Alex Rance, but that was his own choice.
Yeah.
Markov, is going to go to the Suns, and I think Higgins, Jack Higgins. He's just not that type of player that is Richmond. Like, he's not quick or extremely athletic like a Pickett or a Bolton.
Yeah, so I think Rioli or Castagna there ahead of him.
Exactly, yeah. So I think Saints. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about Higgins. I don't rate him as highly. I'd rather keep Jack Looney. We might as well talk about.
Yeah.
Like, Jack Looney might be on his way out. Again, might get pushed out by Higgins, but we'll see. Like, Higgins playing for like a premiership contending team is doing okay, getting half a dozen touches and kicking a few goals. Yeah. But I like Jack. He's a good, nippy, smart forward. So I'd happy to have him at Blues, and he's still 24 or something. Dunstan's the other one at St Kilda that might make way if Crouch comes. Not worth much, you reckon?
Yeah. I think might get included in the trade just because he's from. I think he was the SA captain in the 18, so he might just get put in as kind of stake knives because he's not really in the.
It's like an inside. Needing inside midfielders. Yeah. He got like one Brownlow vote for his last game he played in round 1. He was injured for most of this year. Maybe Adelaide might be a good fit. Allir. Again, you touched on.
I think I'm going to keep him. I think Swans are just after a ruck, so they're chasing Port's ruckman. I think Tom Hickey looks like he might go to the Swans, so I think Sinclair's the only fit ruckman on the list with Naismith on an ACL. So,
yeah, they haven't been able to find a good, durable ruckman. Allir, he's not that young either. I think he's like 28 or something, isn't he?
Yeah, I think he's centre half back. He's not a ruckman, I would have thought. Probably a second ruckman.
Yeah, but are you guys getting him to play on like Tom Lynch, that sort of player?
Yeah, I think that would be the reason, but I think maybe flexibility as well, because Hoff is a big loss because he can play 4 or 5 positions on the ground.
Right, okay. I'm just seeing how tall Allir is. 196 centimetres. Yes, that's pretty tall.
Yeah, but I mean, you look at the prelim. I mean, Tom Cleary, the weather was wet, but Lynch didn't dominate at all. So I wouldn't mind going in with the 3 key back system that we had this year. So,
right. Would Majak Dor be a type of player that could look
I did float him with you, but I remembered his age, so I think the age is probably a bit too much. But I mean, look, anyone would take him if he could reproduce the form from a couple of years ago.
Might be a bit of a tough task, and he's got like a young family as well. So
exactly.
Might be just happy staying here. Hickey might look for his 4th club with the Swans showing interest. Yeah, again, Hickey's pretty old, so
not a first choice, right?
Yeah,
So what
I
do you think
mean,
about Josh Dunkley? So he hasn't requested yet, but looks like he might go to the Don.
like whispers saying he's not happy with the culture there and
Yeah.
all this stuff. So you don't know if it's true. Like players not taking stuff seriously, which is pretty bad. But I think he's more just pushed down the pecking order in terms of midfield, starting midfielders. Like
Yeah, well, he's
want the credit.
playing second ruck too, as well, for
Yeah.
past year as well.
So I think, yeah, maybe, yeah, he should go if he gets offered 5 years.
Yeah. I don't think he's getting offered that by the Dogs. And I mean, the culture issues. I mean, they've won 0 finals in 4 seasons since the flag, so might be some truth to that.
Yeah, but then, yeah, I guess. I mean, if you're going to Bombers from Bulldogs, you're not upgrading automatically, but
No.
I guess it's not about. Yeah, they want him, and he'll be their number 2 mid, like after Shields probably.
Yeah, Sheila Merritt. Yeah, he'd probably be there.
I mean, Bulldogs should demand like 2 first rounders, surely, like maybe like in the 2 teams picks.
Yeah, that's probably
But
fair.
next year, not this year, because there's no point. Google Hagen.
Yeah, look at the best player in the draft, probably.
Yeah, so you'd want 2021 first rounders. And Essendon's might be a pretty early pick next year, like top 5, which might be enough.
Yeah.
Mitch Hannon, the last player on our list here. So, what do you think? He requested to trade out of the Bulldogs to the Bulldogs from Melbourne.
Yeah, I think he's definitely best 22. Like, he's a good size too. Like, he's above 190. I think he's 193. So good as a mobile type. Forward.
Yeah, I mean he's been injured and in and out, but I do like him. I think he provides an option, and can kick a goal or two. He's just behind Fritsch, and Fritsch is a younger and a better player. So fair enough. I have to let him go, but yeah, I think he can play that. Yeah, Gowers and Tory Dixon sort of role at the Bulldogs and offer something. Yeah, so maybe we'll come back to this after trade week and see how accurate we were or not accurate.
Yeah, I think there'll be a few more trades, and I mean the Cameron and Crouch ones are probably the ones up in the air at the moment about matching and trade. So there'll be a few more next week for sure.
Yeah, it should be a busy trade period as usual, and exciting. So we'll see what happens to the draft order, but hopefully it doesn't get pushed out too much. More bid matching, the better, just to compromise it less. We might talk about that, the systems and things like that later.
Yeah, sure. Okay. Catch you guys next week.
Bye.